In the next episode of my small series on hidden changes in the new Scrum Guide, I want to talk about team size. Team size, according to the previous Scrum Guide, was often described with a simple formula: 6 plus minus 3. In other words, a Scrum team had between 3 and 9 developers. If we add a full-time Scrum Master and a full-time product owner, we get to a size for the whole Scrum team of between 5 and 11. If Scrum Master and Product Owner are developers at the same time, a Scrum team theoretically could include between 3 and 9 people. The new Scrum Guide does not anymore define team size through the number of developers, but rather limits the size of the Scrum team directly to a maximum of 10 people. In other words, the whole Scrum team should not have more than 10 people. This definition comes with 3 surprising facts that have been considered very rarely. Let's start with a minor thing that nevertheless is worth mentioning it. There is no more minimum size of a team in the new Scrum Guide of 2020. The previous Scrum Guide said fewer than 3 development team members decrease interaction and result in smaller productivity gains. That lower limit has been removed completely. Second, the Scrum Guide now explicitly states that Scrum teams that are growing too big should be broken down in several smaller teams. Well, it has always been like that, but it has never been expressed that clearly. I find that information very important because, in my observation, organizations very rarely dare to divide an existing Scrum team because they fear the social impact of that split. They rather work with 12 or more developers on one Scrum team. Thus, it is good to make it very clear that splitting Scrum teams should always be an option to be considered. Well, now comes the third change that is quite considerable. Let's assume that Scrum Master and Product Owner are working full-time. That would mean that the largest possible Scrum team consists of 1 Scrum Master, 1 Product Owner, and 8 developers, which means that now we have 1 developer less on board compared to the Scrum Guide 2017. That is quite a significant change. But now it gets weird. Let's assume that Scrum Master and Product Owner are also working as developers. Then we would have 10 developers, 2 of them working as Scrum Master and Product Owner at the same time. That would mean that we have now more developers compared to the Scrum Guide 2017.